things can heat up incredibly fast in the crypto space. You know, I've been around since multiple boom and bust cycles ever since 2017. And let me tell you how this typically works. Things get really boring for a while and then boom, it seems like overnight fireworks instantly begin exploding. And one of the keys to success in this space is doubling down while the space is quiet and paying attention to technology that's slowly gaining traction when no one else is watching. And the good news is I believe that another massive opportunity just like this is on the table as we speak. And in today's video, I want to talk about a tiny sector of the crypto space that is gaining steady traction in the middle of a brutal bear market that I believe will absolutely explode in the coming years, and what some opportunities are potentially to earn some free crypto off this. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know in this video today as a blockchain developer myself who works with this technology on a daily basis. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you learn to become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish, break into the blockchain industry, increase your salary well past 100K, I can show you how to do that over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's talk about this tiny sector of the crypto space that I believe is going to explode in the next coming years. So what is it? Well, first, let's talk about a big problem that the blockchain space has, okay? So, if I'm being 100% honest, blockchains really aren't ready for prime time. They're currently a niche technology that serve niche users who are still around, even in the middle of this brutal bear market. Now, I of course believe that blockchain technology has the power and the potential to permeate almost every aspect of our lives where we transfer and store value. And that I believe in the future, it has the potential to become the dominant way that we do this. But as this technology stands, it's not quite there just yet. We don't really have, the speed that we need and the throughput to process all the transactions to adopt this on a global widespread scale. And we don't really have good privacy-based solutions just yet. But I want to talk about technology that's being adopted right now that has the power to unlock these benefits so that we can get ready for prime time and scale to the moon. So how is that? Well, mostly through scaling technologies built around zero-knowledge proofs or zero-knowledge rollups. So what do I mean by that? Well, right now, majority of the blockchain innovation happening around like DeFi and smart contracts and NFTs is really starting out on the Ethereum ecosystem. But as you might have seen, or other people have heard, it's kind of too slow and too expensive for most people to use for mass adoption. And so you have a couple of options in order to fix this problem. You could either try to change Ethereum itself and then make it faster or cheaper to use. Or you can build something that runs on top of Ethereum and then do transactions there that's faster and cheaper to use. And this is the strategy that the Ethereum community is taking with layer 2 scaling solutions, and the ones that I was particularly excited about are zero-knowledge rollups. So let's do a quick recap on that in case you're not familiar. So what is a layer 2? So again, basically this is building a second layer on top of Ethereum where you do majority activity and then you settle those transactions back on the main Ethereum chain. So layer 1 here is Ethereum that you might use if you've used Uniswap or something like that on Ethereum. But layer 2 is a different one like Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync that you might have heard of. And those run on top of Ethereum. You pay the gas fees there and then settle the transactions back on the main chain. And these layer 2 technologies right now are silently gaining traction in the background while no one else is really watching, okay? So if you go look at the website like l2beat.com, you can see the total value locked, okay, is growing even in the bear market. So this doesn't look like it right here. When you load the page, you can see this is like a downtrend. This is in USD terms. So basically, if you have cryptocurrency that's losing value, it's going to look like the network activity is dropping. But if you look at in ETH terms, okay, it's actually steadily growing and has been for a year. Okay, it kind of has these fits and starts, but the overall trend is up. Now, but what I really want you to pay attention to is the transactions per day. So if you go over here to activity, you can see that the transactions are also steadily growing. And here's what I want you to pay attention to. Look at them compared to the transactions on the main Ethereum chain, which is flat and maybe even declining. Now, that doesn't mean people are stopping using the Ethereum network. It just means that some of that activity is moving up to layer 2s, which is what it should do, okay? But I want you to compare this to other alternative layer 1 blockchains like Solana or Binance Smart Chain and what they're doing during this time. So if you look at like Solana transactions per day over the past few years, you see these kind of peaks and troughs, but this overall looks like the data is kind of just range bound, okay? There's no real upward trend. Same thing with Binance Smart Chain. If you look at it over the past year or so, it's range bound. It's basically flat. But by contrast, layer 2s are continually getting adopted in the background while no one else is watching. And when things start to heat up in the next crypto expansion, which I do believe is coming, probably sooner even than some people expect, then this could really ignite like crazy. Now, that of course happens when massive waves of people come in chasing profits during cryptocurrency bull runs. What I'm most excited about is the actual scaling benefits that get unlocked when people actually have real demand for the technology. Now, some of that can be financial. That's totally fine. That's kind of the ethos of crypto. Now, that's what's happening with the overall layer 2 trend. But I want to talk about a smaller trend even inside this ecosystem that I think is going to unlock a ton of use cases and really get the technology ready for prime time. That's even smaller. It's a subset of the data we're looking at right now. And I think that subset can also explode. And what is it? Well, it's exactly what's at the beginning of this video, which is zero knowledge-based scaling solutions, okay? So not all layer 2s are created equal, okay? If you look at l2beat.com, you're gonna see lots of different layer 2s on here, okay? Some of the top ones are like Arbitrum, Optimism, and like ZK Sync Era. Now, Arbitrum and Optimism are both what's called optimistic rollups, okay? And then ZK Sync is different. There's zero knowledge-based rollups, and that's the ones I'm really excited about. Well, why is that? Well, essentially, let's look at how layer 2s work in the first place. So again, I gave you this basic, visual here of a layer 1, layer 2, but what's actually happening behind the scenes? Well, essentially what it does, instead of taking all these transactions on layer 1 and then rolling them up and including them into a block, or bundling them up and including them into a block, you can take many multiples of those, okay, and then roll them up and then basically generate a proof that those transactions are valid and a reference to those transactions are valid. And that little proof is a way smaller footprint than a full set of transaction data. That's the whole thing of scaling, is basically putting more information into a smaller footprint. In this case, it's just the accuracy and validity of information into a smaller footprint and where to find it. And how ZK rollups do that is with zero knowledge proof. So what is that? Well, basically it's a cryptographic technique for proving that information is, true without revealing the information itself. So the classic example of this is Where's Waldo? Okay, if you think about a Where's Waldo image, I just pulled up this blog post here, so full credit to the author. It doesn't look like a real Where's Waldo image, but you get the idea. Basically, you have to find this person right here. This is Waldo in this picture, and usually it's kind of hard to do, but this is easy. And you have to say like, hey, prove to me that you found Waldo, but don't reveal Waldo's location. Well, how would you do that? Well, you could basically, give me a cutout of Waldo, okay, like this, to prove that you found him, but you never revealed what he looks like or what his location is. And actually, it doesn't matter. You can show what he looks like. You want to show the image of him, and this is what it would look like in your proof. And so how does that apply to scaling? Well, basically what you're doing is you're just proving that these transactions are valid without proving all the transaction information itself cryptographically when you put them into a block, which can really increase the amount that you can put in there and also increase the speed like crazy. And it's not just me that is excited about this, okay? Vitalik Buterin himself, the mastermind behind Ethereum's inception, is also saying that, ZK rollups are likely to be the main solutions, layer 2 solutions for Ethereum over the long term. All right, now he's not necessarily saying any specific layer 2 scaling solutions, but just the underlying technology itself is most likely to win out in the long term. And it's not just me that thinks that, not just Vitalik that thinks that, the community also thinks that. And that's why you have this trend of other solutions like Optimism, like Arbitrum, which are currently optimistic rollups, and then also people like Polygon implementing zero knowledge based solutions and moving in that direction to compete with people like ZK Sync, who have been zero knowledge scaling from day one. And that right there is the big trend, that the zero knowledge scaling solutions are heating up to unlock all these other use cases to get the technology ready for prime time. That Vitalik himself has said, hey, this is the direction we're headed, and the data doesn't lie. We're already seeing transaction activity trend in this direction, and as we enter into new crypto expansion, I can see the gasoline actually getting poured on this like crazy. And if you want to get ahead of this trend, okay, what can you do, and how can you potentially even get some free crypto? So, the first and easiest thing to do is just start using the technology itself, okay? Look at things like Arbitrum, Optimism, and ZK Sync, some of the top ones, and just start using their technology, okay? Create a wallet, bridge over, of course, not financial advice. Be careful with how much money that you use during this type of thing. This is experimental technology, and you want to assume that you can potentially lose any of the money that you try this with, okay? So when you do that, you'll have multiple benefits. You'll see how the technology works. You can kind of get ahead. You can watch new projects in the space. And then you can get in position for airdrops. All right. So airdrops are one of the craziest ways to make money in the crypto space. This is where people give away free cryptocurrency whenever they launch it for the first time to early adopters of the technology. And I've been talking about for months and months and months, I guess even a year plus now on this channel, about ZK Sync. Okay. In their documentation, they said like, hey, are you going to have a token? And they said, yes, they're going to have a token. I think it's been yanked from the documentation ever since, but we've been waiting for a long time for a ZK Sync airdrop to be announced, and it's most likely going to happen in the future. We just don't know when. But if you get in and start using technology there, now before they announce it, it's more likely that you'll be eligible to get some free cryptocurrency for using that. And if you want to rinse and repeat that tactic onto other layer 2s, you can go to l2b.com and then go back to the homepage here, and then you can look at upcoming projects to see who has not launched just yet, and do some more research on these types of people and decide if you want to use something like this in order to experience the technology, number one, and potentially also get in position for an airdrop. All right, so that's an overview of the layer 2 scaling solution trend with zero knowledge rollups that is gaining ground as we speak, quietly behind the scenes in the crypto space, while everybody else is pretty much checked out, just waiting for the bull market to come back. I've been in this space for a really long time, and this type of activity really tends to precede big explosive moves in the crypto space. And I believe there's a big opportunity to get in right now when a lot of people are just checked out and really don't care. Hope I explained everything in this video that you needed to know and why I think that's such a big deal. So as always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you're as fascinated with this technology as I am and you want to go straight for the throat, jump in, I actually become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You really don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers and a master of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.